Welcome to Opinion Havers, a movie podcast for dragons with Pixar faces. I'm Tyler.
I'm Cody.
Cody, what did we watch?
We watched Raya. The Last Dragon.
Raya
and
The Last Dragon. Do you get what I mean? Okay, do you get what I mean by the Pixar face?
Yes.
Also, it's not a Pixar face. It's a Disney Animation Studio face. But
not a Pixar movie. It's a Disney movie.
Also,
Disney
Frozen
animation.
is a Disney Animation.
Yes.
The dragon has the same face as Elsa.
Same face, different singing voice.
Yeah.
Were you look, let's just get right to it. Were you disappointed that there were no dragon musical numbers?
I didn't think about it until this exact moment that there were no musical numbers at all.
Mm.
And it feels wrong, but I didn't notice that it didn't happen. But now that it hasn't happened and you've pointed it out, now I feel like the whole universe is thrown out of whack.
Much like the land of
Jadoon, I don't know, what was it? Dragonland.
I saw this movie just last night.
I saw it this afternoon because I was up till 2 a.m. watching Justice League.
Oh my goodness. It's funny too, because I gave you the out. I was like, hey, look, we can just do Justice League if you want, because I was struggling just to watch Justice League, and I started Justice League on Friday, and you watched them both.
And I was like, no, because I wanted to watch this one more than Justice League, but I ended up.
No, really?
Yeah, but I ended up really liking Justice League.
Yeah,
which gave me the energy and the power to watch this one.
So you enjoyed it?
I did like this one. For some reason, it's something about the releasing on Disney Plus. It made it feel like not a real Disney animation.
It didn't
studio.
feel like the spectacle of like, oh, hey, Disney put out a new animated movie list. That's always a good time. Let's check it out.
Yeah,
it felt different.
Yeah, it felt like kind of like I would equate it to the Kung Fu Panda TV show, where it's the same voice actors, the same animation quality, but it's like it's a TV show versus the movie.
Yeah, it's remember a long time ago when like a movie would come out and like that first weekend, like half the people that were going to see it would see it.
Yeah,
and it was like a thing you talked about. Remember those days?
Yeah, that's why we started this.
It's just because it's so weird to think about how far we are from that.
Yeah,
because like
never go back.
You're right. It did feel different. It was just like, oh, I think some people are probably going to watch that, but it's $30 on Premiere.
Okay,
for Premiere Access.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Did you have to pay to watch this?
I did the cool boy move, and I saw the very last available showing in a theater on Saturday night.
I was gonna say, don't you use my Disney Plus? But no, you use your family's.
Yeah, my family's. Hey, I'll betray my family for your Disney Plus right now if you're offering.
Let me drop this bomb on you.
What?
We watched it. I turned to my wife and I was like, "Did you pay? Like, did you bump up did you pay for this?"
Mm-hmm.
She's like, "No." I was like, "I didn't pay for it. It just let us watch it."
Here's the thing. I opened Disney Plus and I'm like, you know what? 50% chance that my mom or my sister-in-law bought it already.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, upgrade, get Premiere Access to watch it. So I was like, well, I'm not paying for that.
So here's my follow-up question. Mm-hmm. I have the yearly subscription.
No way.
So does that include?
No way. There's no way.
Let's dig into it because I did not pay $30 to watch this movie. I tell you that much.
So while you're doing that, quick summary. Raya and the Last Dragon is about a synthesized amalgam of Asia. It's the Pangea of Southeast Asia. It's countries and there's dragons. But then the dragons sacrifice themselves to save the humans from the Drood.
Yeah.
Drood.
The Droon.
The Droon. And so we live in a new world post-Droon. Anyway, Raya's trying to make things right. Is that fine?
Yeah, like Raya.
There's a plucky young woman.
Yeah, she's the daughter.
A world in peril.
She's the daughter of the defender of the dragon stone.
Oh, yeah.
You know, which is like the last bit of dragon magic. And everybody hates him. All the lands are named after parts. So you're thinking like, what are they called? Yeah. Talon, heart, left foot, right foot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Nostril.
Exactly. But yeah, so the land's name was Kumandar.
Oh, Kumandra.
Kumandra. Which doesn't that mean something in Hindi?
I know there are a few words that like they borrow from like ba, I think is Philippine or Vietnamese. No, I don't remember. It's an Asian word. There's a few Asian words they borrow.
The Philippines, the Mexico of Asia. My favorite thing was when I said that to Kaylin, our old roommate, who is part Filipino, and he was like, I mean, yeah. He's like, that's perfect.
Oh, man. Love it. So you mentioned you liked it. I actually really like this movie, too. I mean, I probably won't have much to complain about. I thought it was really good. I mean, I would put it up with any of the other Disney movies that'll come out. I think it's as good as like Moana or any of those. And just a good, plucky young lady adventure from Disney.
Yeah. I here's my question to you though. All right. So did you think that you liked it more because your expectations were a little lower, because it was like, it's just a streaming movie, right? It's not a theater movie, but you went to go see it.
I went to see it in the theater. I had high expectations from like, Disney's been doing a good job lately. I mean, yeah, I think Disney's hit it pretty well with their animation lately. I really like Moana. I like this one. I mean, so that's what I was expecting, and it met my expectations. I thought it did well. That's where I'm at. So I didn't have that stigma. I'm kind of glad. Here's the thing. This movie's for rich people, all right, that have $30 to spare. And then you know what I did? I spent $30 at a movie theater on tickets and popcorn and a drink to go see it. I was like, well, yeah, I could have saved money if I bought it. It's so because everyone's like, that's way too much. I mean, it's comparatively, it's a lot of money. When you think about just buying the month of streaming service, it is a lot. But then I did spend that much money. I don't always do like the popcorn thing, but since I never see movies anymore in the theater because it's not the same, I still spent that much money anyway. So I see what Disney's doing. I just think a lot of people don't have theaters open in their area, so it doesn't check out. The math doesn't add up for them. Anyway, I spent $30 to see this movie. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I liked it. It's good.
I liked it a lot. I thought it was great.
Yeah. Is this well, I guess this is the third Disney. Is it the third Disney movie to be released on Disney Plus? Because Onward was kind of like got its first week and then everything shut down.
Oh yeah, because I saw Onward in theaters that week it came out too.
Yeah.
Right before the pandemic happened. So yeah, I mean Soul to premiere on it, Soul. It was like it would be Soul, Mulan, and then Raya. Yeah,
I liked it. I thought it was really good. I think it would. My expectations were lower than they would have been had I gone to see in the theater. But I mean, looking at its scores, it's got like 90%. It's scoring as well as any other Disney animation studio movie.
Right.
Plus, I mean,
I would say I liked this more than Onward, I thought.
Plus, here's the thing.
What?
To all you, I'm going to do, here's a PSA to all these people out here making films. If you're making an animated film or a non-animated film and you want my money, put Aquafina in it. I'll go see it.
I was going to say, I really enjoyed her. She was good. I mean, she was great in Crazy Rich Asians. She's great in The Farewell. She's good in it. I mean, yeah. I like her. I like her brand. I like her humor. Her musings.
I am really digging through here.
Sounds like you may have spent $30 you didn't know about.
I will look at my bank account right now and I'll tell you there's not going to be $30 missing from it. There might be a couple $100 from random other stuff, but not from Disney Plus. I pay for it once a year. So I'm one of those guys. I've moved to just okay. Where do you stand? Where do you stand on this? Where do you stand on the, $15 a month versus $100 for a year?
I was a yearly guy. Like my car insurance was a yearly thing. I was like, whatever, I'll just do it. My podcasting, I did that yearly. Or I was like, I'll save $80. I'll just do the yearly thing. Yeah, I'm a bit of a yearly guy, I would say.
Yeah. I've moved to it.
It's a big boy move. It's an adult move.
Yeah.
For sure.
You know, I got $15 for my car's data plan. That's talk about a big boy move. Unlimited data through my car.
Mm-hmm. You could have watched this movie in your car on the way over here.
You don't know that I didn't. I got $12 to Hulu. I got $20 to Adobe, you know, because, you know.
Yeah, I know.
I pay for Adobe that I finally realized, wait a second. We should be using the fancy Adobe software to record our podcast.
Yeah.
And now we sound silky smooth and
hear
awful.
My inhales, my exhales.
You hear all the sighs, all the disappointments. We're much closer to the microphones now.
Yeah. Is there anything else to say before we dive in? I just want you and me to hop on Captain Boone's pleasure barge here and just delight in his culinary pleasures. Gosh, chill out, man. All right. I don't know. I don't have much to complain about. I thought it was good. Here's what's cool about this movie.
Yeah.
There is a parent. We can all revel in a Disney movie with a parent in it. Parent who's alive, parent who raises the kid. And it's interesting because he gets turned to stone, but he's fine at the end of the movie. I don't know. I feel like every Disney movie is like, your parents, they dead.
Yeah.
You are an orphan.
Where's her mom? The mom's always dead.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it's either like both parents are dead. I don't know. It's nice to have representation of like single parents. Yeah. But anyway, I just appreciate that it's like, look, he actually like raised his daughter for a while, and you know, and it's nice, spoiler alert. And they get to be reunited. It was sweet. It was nice.
You're right. Because usually too, it's like the mom's dead and they're like,
they straight up orphan him, which is a great way to start an adventure because you're like, look, now you're lost and you got to do this thing.
Yeah.
Onward had a parent and a stepdad to be.
The best character in that movie for sure.
Oh man, he had like the same mustache as Commissioner Gordon in Justice League.
Here's what I want. Here's what you should do to all you people out there. You know that like thing where they do the weeping angel from Doctor Who background, but the slideshow, and have it randomly go so it'll randomly be right there to try to scare their friends. Do the same thing, but instead of it being that angel right there, have it be a real close-up shot of
J.K. Simmons with a big old mustache.
I almost called him J. Jonah Jameson.
That's who he is. Let's be real.
I've dug deep into the bank account. Last we got is November 27th, 2020, $70 to Disney. I have given Disney no more money than that. They'd let me watch the movie.
Did you watch Onward on there too?
Yeah.
What is happening?
Did you have to pay for Onward?
Not Onward. I meant Soul. Soul.
Yeah, I watched Soul.
I mean, I didn't pay for Soul. Someone else did.
Oh, I didn't.
Someone. Wait, was Soul a premium one?
I don't think so.
I think Mulan was though.
Mulan asked me to pay for it though, and I said no.
What is happening in the world?
Mulan. I support movies like this, where I'm sure someone involved in this movie also supports the Chinese government. But I didn't read an article about it. So
two interesting things about this movie. First off, originally it was like Cassie. There was a white person doing the main voice, and they were like, you know what? We're not doing that anymore. Kelly Marie Tran. Sorry about Star Wars. You're the voice actor for this movie, which is because she's Asian, so that's cool. But I did see people were like, bit of a controversy because this movie is supposed to be inspired by Southeast Asian countries, but most of the voice actors are from East Asian countries, which I know it might matter a lot to some people, but to me, that's like being like, look, this movie takes place in Alabama and you're from Georgia. You're like, oh, okay. It seems like we're close.
That you're a fool. It's more like it takes place in Canada and you're an American.
Right. Yeah. It's just like, what? Excuse me, but you're not from the Northeast. You're just from the East Coast, all right? Not the Northeast. This is New England, okay? And you're from Connecticut. This is not right. I'm sure it's more complicated than that, but we're getting closer. We're getting closer. I think we can celebrate that. Look, we're getting there.
Yeah. I mean, we've discussed multiple times how, how Asian countries seem to be weirdly and incredibly aggressively racist towards each other when there's so much more. And people are like, you're from America. They're super racist. It's like, yeah, but it's usually from people who are way different from your typical American.
Yeah.
Like your average Mexican is way different than your average American.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
we have more in common than we have apart, but our skin colors are different. And that's why we hate each other.
Mm-hmm. Of course, it's much more logical race. The racism is way more logical here.
Like I've gotten more of a tan, which means you hate me a little bit more.
That's true. The moment you walked in the door, and I felt a scowl growing on my face.
That's why I keep the watch tan line, so you can see. Look,
so you can see. Look, I am not an enemy.
You're gonna have to take over. I'm gonna need a second. I'm gonna need to recover from that one.
Oh man. Let's talk about hedgehog pillbug armadillos.
You mean tuk tuk?
Tuk.
I mean, isn't that the name of the little scooters they have in Southeast Asia?
It could be
the little taxis. I think they're called tuk tuks.
Maybe. I don't know. I know
he's adorable, and he's adorable. Huge, and he's still adorable.
That's what I liked about it. Is normally they get big, and like, you're listening. Nope, just as Disney cute. It's a big boy rolling about. It was a fun way to get around. Creature design was fun. I don't know. I think it's interesting the choices they made, because rather than being like, all right, this is a Vietnamese story, or this is a Filipino story, this is a Chinese story, they're like, we're gonna draw from Asia, or we're gonna make a thing. It's like Wakanda, the same thing. We're like, this is not one country, but let's draw in all these cultures and make a thing. Yeah. And same with Moana. They were like, it's not like Tonga or Samoa or, but it is Polynesian. It is, Hawaiian. It's like they kind of just drew everything together.
Yeah, it's islander in general.
Yeah, which, I mean, good enough. I mean, I think it's it's a way to hedge your bets, but it's also, you can draw from multiple cultures, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Don't have to offend anybody too bad, but if your actors are not Southeast Asian, then you're,
yeah. Could you imagine being upset? Because like a lot of famous actors are Canadian, and they'll play someone from the U.S.
Yeah.
Could you imagine a world where you were upset?
Oh, can you imagine if Mike Myers, Ryan Reynolds, Seth Rogen, if all these people weren't allowed to play Americans?
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
That would be crazy. But I do also get it. I mean, like,
every Batman is like British. Like every other Batman's British. Christian Bale, Robert Pattinson. It's Christian Bale. Bruv.
That's right. I do, because I do remember, because I've seen him in like interviews. I'm always like, what?
That's why Batfleck is so dumb, because he's not British.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, just give me a Bostonian and tell me that he's from Gotham. I need someone from England.
Yeah. You can't take someone from Gotham and say they're from Gotham.
Oh, it's a good movie. I thought the animation was great. I was really impressed with they're getting really good at the textures of clothes. You could see when they're writing, you could see the clothes like folding and bending with shadows and stuff.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Animation was great. The ring, the texture of the stone. And we're ramping it up.
Yeah. It was funny because I've heard a lot of people, like, I feel like I saw a lot of stuff about, like, calling it the dragon, like the Pixar face and stuff. And I was like, yeah, it feels like Disney Animation Studio and Pixar are kind of just melding in. And then my wife and I sat there and flicked through, and I was like, no, it's really just Disney Animation Studio adopted this like cutesy Frozen style and is stuck to it, where it was a long time where if it was 3D animated, it's Pixar. If it's 2D, it's just Disney Animation Studio. Mm-hmm. Well, but Pixar's all over the place. I didn't realize how much all over the place they are.
Yeah, it is. It is. I do feel like Pixar did kind of set the standard for 3D cartoon humans, whereas I think DreamWorks was kind of doing their own thing. But Disney, ever since like Tangled, even, which was a while ago, Tangled kind of had that same sort of style. But I like the way Disney and Pixar do it more than DreamWorks.
Yeah,
I think is
yeah.
DreamWorks goes for like a more exaggerated thing. I don't know. I think the Disney Pixar model works a little better for me.
Yeah, I do like whenever I think it was Illumination. I was watching some movie from them where it was like a fur texture where like wind blew through some fur, and I was like, I mean, I feel like they're just like, bring it, Disney.
Yeah.
Like, you can try to do fur better, and Disney's like, we're just gonna make it look like the hair's all made out of strands of Play-Doh.
Yeah.
So it's gonna look real pretty, and you're gonna be like, I want to touch it, but I don't know if it looks like it'd be soft, but I don't know if it would feel soft.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know.
Whereas, Illumination and a little bit DreamWorks, you just are like, everything is gonna be soft. Soft. But I was thinking, it looks like everything's like Barbie. You know how like the Barbie movies are?
Yeah.
You know.
Uh-huh.
You don't want to know, but you know.
Uh-huh.
Like that kind of matte, but a little bit shiny.
Yeah.
Plastic to the skin. Mm-hmm. Like that's kind of what they seem to have gone with. Obviously, a little bit higher quality than what the Barbie movies get.
Mm-hmm. You don't get any higher quality than Barbie, all right?
You get Tinkerbell.
If you're babysitting, where are you going to turn? Barbie, all right? It works. Yeah. You don't question the Barbie model.
Yeah. The weirdest thing my wife is into is she likes the Barbie movies.
I've heard a lot of people talk about the Barbie movies.
I didn't realize how many there are and how like some of them are like big budget feature films and some of them are like wouldn't even make a TV
Just like
movie.
Barbie Rapunzel, Barbie Swan Lake, Yeah. It's a whole thing. It raised the generation.
Yeah. My nieces were super into them. And I was always kind of like, this is like, it's kind of like when my wife made me watch the Tinkerbell movies. And I was like, I don't want to do this. And then by the end, I was like, let's watch the last one. And she's like, it's not that good. I'm like, but I need to know. I haven't convinced her to watch the Never Beast Tinkerbell movie with me. Because she doesn't like it. And I'm like, but I want to know. I want more Tinkerbell in my life.
You need that closure.
I need it. I need to have a daughter so that I have an excuse to watch these movies.
There you go. That's the solution.
I need to kidnap a child. I don't want to wait.
You want to write that Craigslist ad or
we'll kidnap your child for 2 hours.
You just need him for 2 hours. Nothing weird. Just trying to watch a Barbie movie.
I just want him to come over to my house, into my basement, and watch a Barbie movie with me. All right. Don't make it weird. Yeah.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie. No, this one. Raya. We're talking about Raya. She has a good relationship with her dad. Her dad's like her guru. Mm-hmm. They do the martial arts thing. It's a good one. Dad has a dream of reuniting the kingdoms.
Yeah.
To be Kamandra again.
That's definitely unity in one. I think it's Hindi, but it's something. It's like it's a Southeast Asian language. Yes, I've heard it before in other movies.
So I thought it was interesting. I thought there were pretty strong themes in the movie too, because that's his whole thing. It's like, oh, we should trust each other again. We should be unified again. We'll be stronger that way. They'd like talk about the soup and like, look, bamboo comes from this tribe, and the peppers come from this tribe, and the sugar comes from I liked that he was pushing for that, and it's a shame because he invites all the tribes over. Have dinner and discuss it, and then of course everyone just makes a play for the dragon stone. Which
we started this out by saying, like they had the white person as Raya, right? And then everybody was upset because is an East Asian actress doing someone who's based on a Southeast Asian culture.
Yeah.
Doesn't it seem kind of ironic that people are upset about racism in a movie that's specifically about I feel like the main message is like we're
all the same. We're not as different as we think we are. We make assumptions about people we don't understand, and we need to trust each other. And it doesn't matter what the borders are. We should unite.
Yeah.
It is ironic, but here's the thing about that social media outrage.
But it's even more.
That's happening months before anyone knows what the movie's about. Like, it is funny though that it's like, oh wait, if you look at the movie, then
because the movie seems especially targeted at Southeast Asia, which is very like similar to each other and very like hostile towards each other.
Yeah.
Kind of like Missouri and Kansas.
Oh my goodness. It's too intense.
I throw up in my mouth a little bit every time I go into Kansas.
When I cross that border, I mean, my bowels let loose. And I'm not proud to say I've got a Kansas diaper. Is what I'm saying.
Did I tell you that? What was it? You who asked me? You're like, "What's the deal with Kansas and Missouri?"
Yeah.
Was it you?
Oh, I'm sure I've asked you because I've been here 4 years now, and I've been researching it the whole time.
Yeah,
trying to wrap my head around it.
My favorite explanation is it goes back to Civil War. Missouri were the bad guys.
Yeah,
and we still hate each other over it.
Yeah,
Missouri were the bad guys.
Yeah,
they were the racist ones.
Yeah, people are confused about why people have Confederate flags. You're like, you lose, you dig in. Okay, you feel bad that you lost, you dig into that, and you're like, this is all I have.
I'm gonna die on this hill
of how I lost. Yeah. This is mine. It's my pride. Yeah. So yeah,
you go into all these other countries. I'm sure other countries like, Russia and China. I'm sure they allow former rebellions flags to be flown over state capitals and stuff.
Yes.
No problem.
Yeah. It's just, common. Yes. That's what you do.
Yeah.
So everyone makes a play for the Dragonstone. Dragonstone shatters. Therefore, the Droon have power again. It gets released. Boom. People get started to turn to stone. That brings us to present day. Raya is out. Yeah. She's trying to find the last dragon to try to save the world.
Yeah. It does the 6 years later jump. Classic jump,
Classic jump.
Classic jump. She's checked all the rivers.
Except for the
dragon.
Except for one.
For the furry, fluffy dragon.
Oh, yeah. How do you feel? You like scaly dragons? You like furry dragons?
I was about to ask you the same thing.
Look, I understand that a dragon is an amalgam of many creatures, of many magical abilities. I still like a scaly one.
Yeah.
I like a lizardy dragon, not a liony dragon. That's where I'm at.
Here's the thing. If I'm gonna save the world from an apocalyptic demon army, I want Smaug at my side, I want a force of apocalyptic energy.
Medieval.
Yeah.
In your face.
I want the unstoppable force to come with me to meet the immovable object. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't want this fluffy furball here. Okay. Yeah. That's like, I can glow. That's the magic that I got. It's like, you're useless. I hate you. Where's the fire? Where's the lightning powers? You know what I mean? Like, let's bring this stuff in play.
You don't want the Pixar face dragon. You want the big mean mug,
I want business. Benedict Cumberbatch. The human Benedict Cumberbatch.
I want to ride on the back of Benedict Cumberbatch into battle.
Yeah, there you go. But I do like the Chinese slithery dragons. Yeah, they're very slithery and they're very fun because they're all like...
Yeah. Which in a way makes them snake-like.
Very snake.
So there you go.
Very river-like.
So Raya finds the dragon. The dragon's name is Sisu?
Yeah.
Sisu.
I got it right here. I'll pull it.
It's got to be Sisu.
I
feel
Sisu,
really good about it.
It's not spelled how
A.K.A. Aquafina. I thought it was fun that they're like, Aquafina. I'll tell you what, we'll just make Aquafina into a dragon with Aquafina's teeth. I was like, way to go.
It's like they took Aquafina's face and just dialed it up to 11.
It was funny too because Raya has like perfect teeth.
Yeah.
Which made Aquafina's teeth look all the more Aquafina-y,
Yeah. She's a gem, Sisu.
She is. I enjoyed her. Yeah, I enjoyed her whole thing. She's like, I'm not a very good dragon. But I like that she talked about how good a swimmer she was.
So
and honestly...
Once I hit that water,
I slaughter in the water, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
It's like I'm trying to say I'm good at swimming, like through rhyme. Anyway, I was waiting for her to get in the water and not be good at swimming. Like that's what I was ready for. Like the way she was talking herself up, I was like, oh no, she does not have any special abilities, but she actually was.
Yeah,
she was good at it, but I was just ready. I was like, oh no, she's not good at anything.
Yeah, I did kind of like, because when she came out, she's like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not like the best dragon. you know, like when you have a group project.
Yeah, I heard kids. There were like two other groups in the theater with me with kids. I heard like a 6-year-old kid laugh at that. I was like, what do you know about group project? But I mean, I appreciated that even like the kids got the joke and appreciated it.
But the thing I liked is I feel like a lot of times in these things where they're like, I have to find the ancient forest to stop the demon hordes. And then they find it and it's like, what's up? I'm Jeff. Yeah, I didn't stop anything 10,000 years ago. I was just there.
Yeah.
And got trapped in this medallion. You're like, well.
Kind of like Mushu.
Yeah. Or it's like, now I have to find the power within myself, which they did kind of have to do. But at the same time, she was still a dragon. And
she still, as they collected parts of the stone, she's like, oh, look, I have access to these other magical abilities. I like that she kind of grew in power, but was still always sort of like herself.
Yeah.
And still wanted like, hey, it's about trust. And it's about like, we need to give a gift. Like, let's get a gift.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like that she kept that part of herself and was never like the end all be all, but became more and more helpful as she went. It was nice. It was good.
Yeah, because she got them like their older brothers. The oldest brother's power to like bring the rain.
Mm-hmm.
And then she brought the pain.
What did they dragons, they bring, I did like that, it didn't make like dragons brought water, rain. I was like, okay, that's the same thing. Like, get out of here. And when they were listing out the things the dragons brought, they're like seeds, water, rain. I'm like, stop right there. You ran out of things. How's the end of your list? Waterfall. So you're like, nope, same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked Sisu. She's great. I like when shape-shifting was one of the things.
Yeah.
So her as a human was like, my butt is so close to my face.
Yeah. It's like, I like that they never got her clothes that fit. She just constantly wore the same outfit that fit the dragon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was good. I appreciated as they went to, they collected different members of the different tribes, which is like all going towards that unity.
Speaking of different members, and also people that you can just give, Benedict Wong will get me in on any movie as well.
I was trying to figure out who that voice was. Is Benedict Wong?
Yeah,
he's great.
He's the best.
Oh, he's so good. He was the big like barbarian kind of guy.
Yeah, first thing I ever saw him in. I don't know if it was the first thing, but the first thing where I was like, I like this guy was actually the Netflix Marco Polo show.
Oh, I've heard that's good.
He's really good. He plays Kublai Khan.
Mm-hmm.
So he's real good at it.
Yeah, I liked his character because he's supposed to be like the menacing dude, and the more he goes on, you're like, oh, you're a goofball. Yeah, you need some friends.
Yeah, he's like the only one of the like
Fang or Spine,
which are like the guys that live up in the mountains, and everybody's like
super tough,
huge, and everybody's scared of him, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna torture you, do awful. It's gonna take me at least,
it's gonna take 2 weeks. I'm getting sick just thinking about all the terrible things I'm gonna do.
Then because he makes a remark where he's like, oh, it's gonna take me like a couple days of just hanging out just to work up the nerve to do these awful things. Where it's like, we're just gonna have to hang out. It's like, oh, he's just lonely because everyone else is turned to stone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I appreciate that they kept, gathering friends. Captain Boone, what a treasure.
Here's the thing, though.
What?
They don't like water.
The Droon.
But they're moving around in the snow. And it's not like they're floating. They're tumbling. They are tripping over themselves, much like up a flight of stairs.
Yeah. President Biden up a flight of stairs? Is that
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just making comments,
Some memer was talking about that. He's like, whoa, like a year ago is Donald Trump with the toilet paper on his going up Air Force One, and now we have Biden tripping. I don't, even Biden trying to he also stops. He's like, what happened? Like he's trying to figure like, what did I do to mess this up?
So he's like stops. He's like, all right, I'm just gonna take a second. Something is going on here.
Oh man, he's fine. We can joke about it. Even if he wasn't fine, we can joke about it.
Yeah.
We have a good time.
My favorite was when someone took that Chappelle show and he's like,
yeah.
to the Secret Service, why didn't you help him? Why? Because F him, that's why.
Yeah. Oh man.
Okay.
We gather people.
Also, wouldn't rain be like the ultimate weapon against these things? Just be like,
that's what I was wondering. What do they do in the rain
around the country?
It was interesting because it seemed like in a lot of areas there's plenty of water. And one of the tribes is like, we just built on the water, we're fine. Another one was like, oh, we built a moat around our thing. And then Fang is like, I don't know, we here. And they're the one, or Spine, I think. Spine is the one who's like, yeah. We here. Like,
well,
they also had snow everywhere too. I don't know, man.
Because they're up in those mountains there.
The spiny mountains look like a dragon's
spine.
Stegosaurus thing, you know that.
Yeah. So I think that's why they got, and that they're like, their whole thing is like, we gotta fight them. So they tried to fight them and they failed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, part of the thing, I do appreciate the 500 years.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like so often with these ones, they're like 50,000 years ago. So most of the people are like, that's all myth and legend. But they're like 500 years ago. Like soon enough ago that it's
still part of history.
Yeah, it's like people know this happened. It's not like, oh, that never happened.
Like the Revolutionary War for us, we're like, oh yeah, we know about that and know what it is. I like, and as a remnant of that too, they're like, oh, the dragons are all turned to stone, but like people know about dragons and they're, young people are like dragon nerds and they like that. And so that was cool. And
they like, that's like one of the things that kind of unites people. Like they show the Fang people going back and they're galloping on their cats.
Mm-hmm.
And they slow down to go through more respectfully through where all the dragons were turned to stone.
Yeah.
When they tried to fight the Droon.
I liked how they described the different people. They all had their traits, but I like when they're like Fang and they're super vicious cats and there's like a kitty. It's like, I like that.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
They did kind of get me with the fact that everybody did hate each other. Because when they were first doing that speech, and she's like going through everything and then he's like, does the soup. I thought it was going to be like, yeah, you think it's the super simple thing, but we're all like trading with each other and interlinked in one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
But it, then they got there and they're like, yeah, no, we hate each other and we don't trade with each other.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, that was kind of you thought it was like this, but it's like this. Psych, it's actually like the first way.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay. What's the point of the soup? It's a metaphor.
The soup is that the soup is delicious.
They do bring that up later.
You wanted some of that soup.
Yeah. I had ramen noodles while we were watching the show.
Man, every time I watch anything Asian animation, I'm just like, well, now I have to eat a bunch of ramen. Like, they just make the food look so good. I feel like we never do that in, maybe we do it in American cartoons with cheeseburgers or whatever, but I feel like they really animate the dishes and they're like, don't you want this? You want to eat this? It's a cartoon. You can't, you idiot. You just tease me. Little food teases.
I mean, also growing up, how big of your part of your life was food? Really, when you break it down?
I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to say.
But I mean, just the fact that it's like, I don't know, like it's hard to say is that, you think of like our old roommate, Kaylin, like think about him talking about his mom making food and stuff.
I came from a family that is all about food and cooks a lot and eats a lot of food, but it isn't the same level as like any of the Latino families that I spent time around. It's not on that same level where it's like, oh no, it's because when we do it, it's like, oh, it's Thanksgiving dinner and like two people, the grandma and the mom are going to do like all the work and everyone else just sits around. Whereas there, it's like, hey, all the women are making tamales right now. Oh, and the guys are going to go out back and make carne asada. And, like it's much, I feel like it's more of a little different in other cultures.
Like making the food is the activity.
The communal thing.
So I think it's more of a thing in other cultures than it is for Americans.
Yeah.
Where it's like the thing that unites us all is
Eating the food.
we know we have food at home. I want
Mm.
McDonald's. No, we have McDonald's at home.
Yeah. I liked that she had a rival.
Yeah.
To go back, Raya and Fang lady. What's her name? And I liked that she was the rival. What was her character's name? Namari. I like this. That goes back to the beginning, right? Because they're both talking about, we both like dragons, or they're sort of that bridge. But then Namari betrays her when she shows her the dragon gem.
Saw that betrayal coming 10,000 miles away.
Oh yeah, me too. But I liked that later on. It's like, yeah, she's trying to hunt Raya, and they're all looking for the dragon gems, and they're all after each other. But I liked that Namari was torn because of her mom's direction. Like, her mom wanted to lead it in one way, and she did want to. She's so sympathetic to the dragons, but at the same time, she's torn between her family, her tribe, and the dragon and everything. So I like that there was some complicatedness to that relationship. It wasn't just like, I'm the bad guy, I'm the good guy.
Yeah.
It all kind of tied in, and you could see the conflict there. Yeah,
the bad guy was the discord between them. Which I thought this was an interesting thing that, this is what I picked up on it, at least. I'm interested to see what you think about it. That when they do that initial play for the gem, it's like, a trick to try to get that gem. And it falls and breaks, and then the Droon appear.
Yeah.
And I was like, the Droon appeared because the gem broke. But then later, when they're going down the river and they can see the Droon on the banks at night, and Sisu, they're asking what, I think it was Boone. Boone asks, he's like, what are they? And Sisu's like, they're like a representation of the discord in humanity and all your distrust and hate for each other. They're like the embodiment of that. Which made me think I don't think they came back because the gem broke. I think they came back because all the tribes were fighting over the gem.
Yeah.
Which allowed them to come back.
Yeah, which is even embodied by them each taking a piece of it instead of trying to put it back together then and being like, no, we need to keep the dragon gem as it is. They're like, no, we all want the power and I don't trust you to have it. And
yeah,
they separated it too.
Yeah, so it was like them taking a piece of the dragon's trust and unity, and that's what protected them was that. And that's, and then later it's the humans recreating that trust and unity that re-empower. It puts that power back into the gem.
I did think that was interesting because Raya does get shot, and it's like, oh, she can't bring the gem back together and save us all. And then they come to that conclusion at the end where it's like, no, it's not.
She got shot through the heart. And
you're to blame.
What are you talking about?
And I like that Raya, she never believed the trust thing. She was like, nope, we just got to get the gem together. And then Sisu will fix it. And Sisu was always like, no, I think we need to extend some trust to these people and we need to just explain what's going on.
Yeah.
And so in the end, that Raya had to take that first step of like, okay, I'm going to put it on the line. I'm going to trust you to do it.
Yeah.
And they all followed suit. I liked that.
Yeah. They came together.
Yeah.
They had a spirit of Emoja, which, as we all know from Futurama, is unity. It's part of the holiday.
You know it.
What's the
Festivus?
It's like African Hanukkah. What is it?
Kwanzaa.
There we go.
Yeah.
Boom. Nailed it. Have you ever met somebody that celebrates Kwanzaa?
No. I don't think it's real. I think it's a myth.
It's newer. I know. Because it's supposed to be like here's a thing.
It was invented in the 20th century as an alternative, as an African-American alternative to Christmas.
Yeah.
So it was like a recently invented thing. I just haven't met anybody that celebrates it.
I've only ever really heard about it from Futurama. So that's how
Is it that Jamaican character? Does he celebrate it?
Yeah, Hermes.
Hermes.
They got Kwanzaa Bot. He's the one that sings the songs.
All right. I apparently need to get educated on Kwanzaa.
Yeah, you do.
I liked the fighting in the movie. It was interesting too, because Disney does the singing musical movies.
Mm-hmm.
I think I read somewhere it's like the last Disney fantasy film since Brother Bear in 2003 to not be musical. And I mean, you have to categorize it a little bit deeper, right? Like, okay, Wreck-It Ralph isn't really fantasy. It's not music. But, you know, like, I think Frozen 2, Frozen 1, Tangled, Princess and the Frog. You know, it's a lot of musical movies. So the Pixar is always like the adventure movies without singing. And the Disney does the singing ones. This one's just an adventure movie. Moana's a singing one. So that's interesting. I liked it. I don't know. I liked it. I don't mind the Disney singing stuff. Some are better than others.
Yeah.
I thought, I don't know. I just liked that it was an adventure movie. I liked that there's some cast diversity. I appreciated the martial arts of it.
Yeah, I did like
the
that.
influence of Eskrima or Arnis or the third name for it, the stick fighting.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah. I did like that. It was I like how smooth they were and how they had different styles versus sometimes I know like with the animated stuff it does sometimes feel like it's just they're using kung fu.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you can always tell one where it's like, okay, well, we got these different tribes and they've got these different fighting
like
styles.
Avatar, like Last Airbender is a really good example of that, right? Where they're like, oh no, we really focused and we're like, they'll have different, you know, influences of the martial arts style and stuff. So yeah, I did like that about this. Yeah. I don't know. It was good for me. Was it?
By Avatar, I'm assuming you're talking about the M. Night Shyamalan film.
not a movie. It's really a film.
It's really an experience. I told you my wife, she had never seen the show when she saw that movie, so she liked the movie. She's like, it's fine. She didn't think it was great, but she liked the idea of Avatar. So it was like the little bit of Avatar that poked through. She's like, this is really cool. And then she saw the show and she's like, oh, I understand the hate now.
Yeah.
But she still has like a soft spot for that
movie.
Most
people are just like, I didn't want to bother with the show because that movie sucked. And you're like, no.
Yeah. But she thought the idea of the Avatar and all the firebender.
It is cool, yeah. It's a great idea. It's a solid concept.
Like the dragon, she was like a waterbender.
Oh, yeah. That was cool. I did like the water effects were great. I liked that the dragons could like, when she was able to like jump on the rain, you know, and like dance around. I thought all that was really beautiful. The dragon animation and them jumping around and doing stuff.
Look, we've done 2 episodes tonight. We've had waterbenders in both of them. Is Justice League when she pulled all the blood out of Steppenwolf? We didn't even mention that. Side note to Justice League. He's got a mirror or whatever her name is pinned against the wall. He's like, you can't escape. She's like, I'm not trying to. And then she just starts pulling like all the liquid out of his body. And you see like his blood coming out of his mouth. Oh, and he throws her away.
The Amber Heard character?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I remember.
I was like, yeah, that's way better than in the theatrical release where he just was like, and then it was over.
Yeah. Because the Atlanteans, they strong.
Yeah. But, you know, that's why I was a little disappointed. Cece never tried to pull the blood out of anybody.
Disney movies, what they're lacking is blood bending. All right. Exactly. I need blood flowing out and being controlled. That's what I want.
That's why Paramount Plus is going to outperform Disney Plus.
Exactly.
Here's the thing. Why are you going to put the plus on the end of why are you going to name your thing so similar to your main competitor? Because it's like Disney and CBS.
Just a quick brainstorm sesh. Alternate names for Paramount Plus. Paramountain. Paramount, but you add the mountain so you know it's more.
Viacom CBS. Via BS. VBS.
A hard. It was a hard job. Paramount Plus. Paramount Squared. Paramount. Oh, I got it. CBS All Access.
That's genius. trademark it right now. We could sell it for $1 billion.
Remember when it was CBS All Access?
I remember when
I don't know who owns what. So when it's switched over to Paramount Plus, they're like, by the way, that CBS is dead to us now. We are still CBS, but shut up about it. It's Paramount Plus now.
Here's the thing. Viacom and CBS, two huge companies, merge into, you guessed it, Viacom, CBS.
Here's what they did right about that. HBO had HBO Now, HBO Go. And it was very confusing. And then they were like, HBO Max. We've disabled all the other ones. I hope your device has HBO Max compatible.
Yeah.
Paramount Plus, they were like, CBS All Access, your app is Paramount Plus now, and it's fine.
Yeah.
That was the one thing. It was just like, oh, you just go to the app and it just takes you to Paramount now.
Yeah.
HBO screwed everyone over because they were like, yeah, it's only on half the platforms. It's like an Apple thing where you're like, yeah, it's only here, it's only there. The old one's still there and it doesn't work and it will never work and we won't take you to a link of the new app.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost got though because I almost double paid for Paramount Plus because I had it through Amazon, but then I got the year through Paramount.
Of course you did.
And I was like, so I went to be like, oh, I need to go cancel it. And it's like, oh, your Paramount Plus subscription. I was like, oh, they've already switched the name.
Mm-hmm.
Like the day after the day
they just
launched.
did it. I admire that they just did it.
Yeah.
You know, they just threw you in the deep end. You're like, swim now.
Yeah. So the real question is Paramount the more recognizable name over CBS?
Well, the problem is Paramount's movies. CBS is TV. So when I think CBS, I'm like, oh, Star Trek.
So maybe that's it.
Paramount. Maybe they want that to be like, look, it's CBS plus Paramount. Look, we got more, but they don't really emphasize the CBS part.
Or is it the alliteration?
Paramount Plus.
Call up Bob Iger. Ask him to call over to whoever's the CEO of CBS or Viacom or Paramount.
Here's what it is. Everyone's working remote. They don't have the wherewithal or energy to do an all-night marketing sesh. They're like, Paramount, Disney Plus works, Paramount Plus works. Boom.
But it'd be like Disney being like, we're launching our new streaming service, Pixar Plus. Watch all the Star Wars movies on it today. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of the equivalent of
all
it.
right, you're right. I mean, look, I'm not here to make excuses for the marketing squad of Paramount Plus. I just admire that they just turned it all over.
Yeah.
You know? They didn't make me download a different app or cancel an old app or invalidate my subscription. It flowed like a river.
Yeah.
Like a river flows.
Yeah. So here's the real question out of this question, which fed off a separate question. Which streaming service is best? I mean, Disney, you got Raya and The Last Dragon.
Yeah, but you either do or don't have to pay $30 for it.
I didn't. You did. You would have. So obviously, Bob likes
We
me
all
more.
know there's one streaming service that wins, and it's Netflix. In 3 years, there's going to be so many different. Netflix can have only Netflix content, so that's going to be tough. I don't know. You have to have at least 3. If you don't have 3, then you don't have enough power, right? It's like the Infinity. It's like the Infinity Gauntlet. You need enough to make it. You know, you can't just have one stone. It's like that's not even a movie.
Yeah,
you got a few together. You're like, all right, now we're cooking.
Here's what I think. I contend the most worth it is Hulu.
Now, this is controversial because Hulu, you got to pony up. Look, you got to deal with commercials with Hulu unless you're pony up. You pony up, now you're not dealing with commercials. Now you're cooking. Now you got it going. I don't know. Hulu is good.
They got the most diversity. If you were to ask me, you were to come to me and you say, I got $15 and I can only get one.
The only thing about Hulu is great for TV and it's okay for movies. I don't think it's that strong for movies though.
Yeah. I'm just saying it's got enough movies. It's like, if you're like, I want to watch something, it's going to have something that you're going to want. Which, I mean, you could argue Netflix is going to be the same way, but Netflix is $17 or $18 now. I
think it depends on if you're doing the 4K versus the HD.
Oh, I got the 4K.
Because the 4K costs a little more. I don't know. I feel like Netflix has more movies that I want to watch versus Hulu, but Hulu does have some shows like Treasure. I don't know. It's hard. And FX is so good. And they have like all the FX shows.
Yeah. I do think if you want the highest quality content, HBO Max has got that though.
That's true. I mean, yeah, HBO is like all, going back to like The Sopranos to today, like, I mean, what? The Sopranos, Wire, True Detective, Game of Thrones. You can go deep on some pretty quality series too.
Yeah.
Plus, like, good movies.
Not to mention, come October, the question's over. HBO's won come October.
What's coming? Talk to me. Is it Dune?
Dune.
Dune. Denis will bless us with Dune. I was going to be so mad about it, though.
Here's the thing. He's mad. Like, what I've heard, he's mad because they're like, he's like, I can't hit the goals that they set to make the next movie.
Right.
Because it's going to be, but don't you think Time Warner's going to be like, hey, we just had like 1 million people sign up to watch Dune. You've hit your goal.
Maybe. Here's the thing, though. Netflix is like, we're getting all the subscription money. We're going to dump all that into content. And that's what HBO Max needs to be doing. They're saying, hey, we're getting all this, because you can't just it's hard to pinpoint like, people already had HBO Max and they watched Dune, which is different from I downloaded HBO Max and got the subscription just to watch Dune. But Netflix has just said, we're going all in on making your own content. We're going to get as many Emmys as we can. We're going to try to get in the Oscars. We're going to push out all the, that's what HBO Max needs to be doing, is saying, all right, we're collecting this revenue from the streaming service. Let's pump that into movies now, because Zack Snyder's Justice League has a 96% of Rotten Tomatoes. We made the fans happy boys, so we got to keep. That's what they need to do. But are they going to do it? Are they going to go all in on Denis?
Well, here's what I think. I think all these directors, right, are getting all up in a tizzy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because of all these things coming in on the streaming, and if they can on into theaters, like you and I, we both watched this movie. You went to go see it in theaters. I watched it on the streaming service.
Yeah,
which in and I guess in their perfect world where I didn't somehow magically not have to pay for it.
Yeah.
They would have gotten $30 straight cash from me.
Which is true, because for me, they were splitting that with the theater.
Yeah.
Half that. I paid $24 for 2 tickets. So they're probably getting $12 or $15 of that. But then that $9 is going to the theater.
Yeah.
Whereas, $30 straight cash, that's going straight in their pocket.
Yeah. And just, I honestly, part of me kind of questions if this movie, like a movie like this, would have been the way it is, or more Disney-ified. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
You know what I mean?
No.
Like, I feel like movies that are releasing day and date are all, I feel like I've already noticed a little bit of them being less, well, we need to keep you within these bounds, and more like
they're getting more specific.
Yeah, it's
more democratized.
You want to make a movie based on kind of this amalgam of Southeast Asia, and you want all Asian voice actors. You want to tell the story about racism and hate and prejudice and trust. Sure. Whereas I feel like maybe Disney, especially because I know like there's a lot of like hot button stuff in China a lot with the,
censorship.
Well, it's not even that, just like them doing some pretty awful stuff to other cultures that they don't like.
Yeah.
So they may have been more like, we're going to punt this another couple years.
Yeah.
Like go ahead and make it, but you're not releasing this year.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, think about Zack Snyder's.
Yeah.
Are more people going to see Zack Snyder's Justice League because it's on HBO Max versus like, oh no, you have to buy the Blu-ray, the special director's edition Blu-ray?
Absolutely. I think so. I also think
it's more exposure.
Like when Dune 2 is being made, instead of them being like, all right, it needs to be this long. These are your, like, you need to avoid these things from the story. And they're going to be like, you know what?
There's people that are going to watch Dune. So you do Dune the way.
Yeah. Like if you want part 2 to be an hour long, you want it to be 4 hours long. Who cares? You want it to be like this. You want it to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever fits your vision best, go ahead and do that.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
That is what I want.
But I think even Netflix is already showing that that's the way to go.
Netflix is custom. Netflix's content is so specific where it's like, we make documentaries about this stuff. We took over Great British Baking Show. We're doing, you want an M-rated, mature rated Viking series in the style of, Game of Thrones? Yes, we've got it. Oh, we want some animated kids shows in the style of How to Train Your Dragon? Okay, let's do that. Yeah. I think they are understanding more that like, oh, everybody's on the streaming. It's like YouTube. Like you can find a YouTube channel about anything.
Yeah.
I think it's that, but it's funded by studios and it's making movies instead of content creators making their niche things. Maybe, hopefully. I like the idea of it.
Yeah, I feel like with the
don't the movies thrive on the revenue of like, look, we made this marketable PG-13 movie that everyone's like, oh, I don't have anything going on this weekend, so I guess let's check out this movie.
Yeah.
But is that getting harder to do now that there's more and more studios? Now everyone has to plan their movie based on when Marvel's coming out because you don't want to put your movie up competing against the Marvel opening weekend. Now that it's all on streaming, I wonder, is that still the way to do it, or is the way to do it? If you're gathering subscribers, it's different. You don't have to make it broad so everyone buys a ticket.
Yeah.
You have to make it specific so that you get as many people on your subscription as possible.
Yeah. Because that's the thing. I think it's like, you talk about, we'll pretend none of the DC movies exist, and they're trying to clean slate, trying to copy Marvel.
Okay.
The kind of movie that I think they would make for theater release versus the kind of that they would, because I think you saw with Zack Snyder's Justice League that they're like, okay, it's obviously that like you're the guy that you're known for being for 300 and Watchmen and like these brutal, gory, R-rated comic book adaptations. So yeah, go ahead and do a Batman movie and make it rated R, and that's fine.
That is interesting to think about it, because like Zack Snyder's Justice League would not have been that movie if he had released it, because it would have been the PG-13 movie of the one that's on HBO Max now.
Yeah. So that's the thing is I like, there's more freedom for them to be like, yeah, I mean, people who want to watch that movie are going to subscribe or are already subscribed.
It's interesting too, because like Tarantino has done some things like that too. Like Hateful Eight is like a 2.5 hour movie.
Yeah.
There's a 4-hour director's cut version of it on Netflix.
Yeah.
So if you want more Hateful Eight, you can watch a 4-hour version of it.
Yeah. Which I think if it had released, like say something where Netflix had bought it to release day and date on Netflix and theater, it would have been like that 2.5 hour version would have come out in theater, heavily, edited, curated for sitting in a theater and watching it.
Mm-hmm.
And then that 4.5 would have come out.
But now we're blurring the lines between a miniseries and a movie, right? Because you're like, Hateful Eight's a 2.5 hour movie. Oh, but if you want a 4 episode version of it, look, you're like, oh, but couldn't you have made it an 8 episode and a limited series? I don't know. It's interesting that they're kind of starting to bleed into each other a little bit.
Yeah.
4-hour movies were unheard of it's been a long time since there's been a 4-hour movie out in theaters.
Yeah.
And we just had a couple, or versions of it on streaming.
Yeah. Which it will be interesting to see, because I'm sure eventually there will be someone who puts out like a 3-hour movie in theaters, but like a 6-hour miniseries, like where they're like, we're not going to do this as one file.
Yeah.
Like, this is like 6-hour-long episodes.
It's interesting.
But it's the same thing.
But it's so interesting, because that's a difference between the series and the movie. Like, that's what I like about movies. You're like, hey, you're in it for 2 hours and we did it.
Well,
I like it. I like a series too, but it's a very different commitment for me,
Yeah. You just think about like, I don't know, think about like Lord of the Rings. Okay. Yeah. So they're like 3 hours each.
Yeah.
Then there's the director's cut, which are
3.5 hours each.
Yeah.
One is 4, one is 3.5.
Yeah. So imagine if they were like, okay, Peter Jackson, what we want you to do is film the book, like make the book into a show, like make a movie that is, here's Fellowship of the Ring, with really the only thing that you would cut out stuff that you don't think is important, but don't feel like you don't feel restrained by time.
Mm-hmm.
Then you take that, edit it down to a theater length movie.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, if you love this movie and you're like, oh, they cut out my favorite character. Here's the director's.
Here's Tom Bombadil.
Yeah,
You
here's
got
like
him.
the hour-long this movie's the same thing. It's just got the hour-long sequence with Tom Bombadil that doesn't affect anything else in the movie,
Right.
but you got it.
That's interesting. I don't know. I wonder what's going to happen. I would recommend Raya and the Last Dragon. I thought it was great.
Oh yeah, I definitely recommend.
I really liked it. I mean, I liked it as much as any. I think it was a little better than Frozen 2.
I think
it was on par with Moana, maybe a touch better. I don't know. It was a pretty tight movie in all.
I think if you're someone who's been on the fence with Disney Plus, I'd say this is worth signing up to see. It goes for everybody in a month. So it's like June or something, right? So I guess more than a month.
Yeah.
It's 3 months when they released everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if you don't want to pay the $30 or chance the ability to just watch it like I got it,
yeah,
then yeah, I definitely think this would be worth at least sign up for a trial to check it out.
I'm on board. I really liked it.
Yeah.
High fives all around. Good job, Aquafina.
Cute. The baby, the little ninja thief baby.
The little ninja thief baby, a little
baby.
Monkeys. Con baby. Yeah.
Oh, so good.
Saw that one coming too. I was like,
Captain
oh,
Pop
no.
and Lock. Was he gonna challenge him to a dance battle? Yeah. It was so funny. I cried at the end of this movie.
Yeah.
Tiffany was like, "You gonna be okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, don't look at me. Don't look at me." It was touching. It got me. These kinds of Disney movies, they get me at the end. I choke up every time.
It was a touch from Union. She saved her dad, and it's sweet.
Yeah, when she's like, when was it Sisu's like, she brought some friends, and it's everybody. I was like,
yeah,
I'm like tearing up. My eyes are getting all blurry and watery.
It was good.
Yeah.
I can't complain. Really liked it.
Yeah, I liked it. I'll probably end up watching it again. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of weirdos doing some weird stuff with the dragons.
Fingers crossed.
And if you're into it, good for you, I guess. I don't know. If you're not, then just,
yeah.
Don't Google the dragons with safe search off. That's probably my only real advice to you.
Yeah, I don't know too much more to say. I didn't take it's been a while since I did this, but I saw some theaters. I didn't take any notes. I just came. I came here.
Yeah.
I liked it. Watch it.
Yeah. This one, so I talked to the last episode of Justice League. I was like, I started playing on my phone, then I put my phone down almost immediately. Was engaged the whole one.
Yeah.
It's rare that a movie gets me and I never have to or feel the need to go do something else. The only thing I did was I went and made some ramen noodles.
You have to.
Because I needed it.
I would have done it if I wasn't in a dumb movie theater.
I made soupy ones too, which is something I don't usually do, but it felt right.
Yeah.
It felt much
Sometimes
more
you need
Asian.
the slurp, you need the broth to flick you in the eye.
Yeah.
I just want to see how I'm good to say about. Oh, I did want to see I think it had 75 Metascore. I was just curious about its Rotten Tomatoes.
It's a lot.
Let's see, good one.
Yeah.
It's a 94 tomato meter, 86 audience. So the audience didn't like it as much as the critics. That's interests me, but that's probably just people mad about the Southeast.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering if that might have torn it down a little bit.
It's a good one. Check it out. Great anime. I mean, it's amazing to see the animation just ramp up every movie. They're like, you're getting really good at it.
Yeah, it's the best one for sure. There's no ponytail clipping through a character's shoulder. Are you familiar with this?
Which one was that?
So Frozen, when she's undoing her hair, she does a move where her hair is behind her shoulder and then it's just in front of her shoulder. And it drives my wife nuts.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm like, I've never noticed this. And now I can't unsee it.
Oh yeah. It's like once you realize how many wigs are in Hollywood movies, it starts to you're like, oh, once you can start to spot wigs, it'll drive you crazy.
Is Commissioner Gordon's mustache a wig?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I can't believe you even asked. Yes.
Is Bruce Willis wearing a wig in Surrogates?
They actually gave him steroids for that. He was able to sprout that hair. It's like a chia pet. It's the same seeds you'd put in a chia. You put it on Bruce Willis' head, put him in some sunlight, a little bit of water, boom.
Yeah. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just Look up
I
Bruce
forgot
Willis
about.
and
I haven't
Surrogates.
even seen Surrogates, but I have seen 10 minutes of Surrogates, and I've seen that wig.
It's the worst wig.
Oh, it's amazing.
It also moves a lot on his head.
So
it's
good.
like they didn't. You know how you're supposed to like tack it down. It's like they didn't secure it to his head. So
you're like, everyone's gonna know this is a wig anyway. Why do we gotta try hard?
Yeah,
It's Bruce Willis.
just
He's
throw
the
it.
most famously bald person ever.
Yeah, it's like the kind of wig that your grandma had on the creepy porcelain doll in her study.
Yeah.
It's like they just grabbed that and threw it on. No wigs in Raya though.
No, not a one.
It's all their real hair.
I got nothing else to say.
Yeah,
It's
a
good.
treasure. It's good. It's a fun time for everybody. Check it out. Be sure to use our link in the just now.
Thank you for listening. You can share us with friends, families, enemies, dragons, dragon nerds, etc. It's called Opinion Havers.
I thought you were gonna say loved ones, so I was like queued up with enemies, and you said enemies, and I was like, well, there's nothing. It's nothing now.
You can yell at us or engage with us on Twitter at Opinion Havers, on Facebook at Opinion Havers.
Yeah, if
Oh,
you're
we're
from
listening.
Southeast Asia,
I would love to hear your thoughts on Awkwafina as a voice actress in a movie inspired by but not taking place literally in Southeast Asia.
yeah.
I'm ready to fight about it.
But more importantly, send us your soup recipes.
Yeah.
I need them. I need that soup.
Yes.
The soup that looks like there's nothing to it, but it's the most delicious.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
I want that for me. I want it for you. Thank you for listening. Until next time, have opinions.
And watch movies.
Oh, did we switch it?
Yeah, it's watch movies.
And have opinions. It's been so long since I messed it up. We're in a good streak. We're going to have to zero out the board again.
Yeah.
It's been this many episodes since our last mistake.
I threw you off because I started.